What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, still recovering from New Year's Eve. Oh boy, that was a rough one, but I will say this much. Money doesn't sleep, nor does Walmart. So in this video, I talk about the most often asked question that I've been getting recently, and that didn't even make sense, but whatever, you guys get the picture. That is, what are the different store options available when it comes to selling on Walmart? So I'm going to talk about what done for you, done with you, and do it yourself all mean, and which option could be best for you, particularly heading into 2023, which means the possibility that Walmart opens up store approvals is quite high. I am super fired up for this video to show you these options. Hope you're fired up. Let's do this. All right, so here we are. I'm going to talk about these different Walmart options. And yes, I'm very cozy. I am still in bed with the dog. I am dog sitting, so I'm letting him have a ball, doing whatever the heck he wants. Now, I want you to remember, I'm going to show you the different Walmart options that you do have when creating a store. This is one of the most common questions that I get. So what are my different options? I'm going to go over each of them today and talk about the pros and the cons a little bit, but ultimately answer the question for you. What are my options when it comes to Walmart? So you might be asking yourself that very question, right? I just said it. There's a reason. I do want to remind you that if you do want to talk about these different options, my email is below. Send me an email and we can jump on a call and discuss them. But you've got plenty of them. So let's go over each of those now. So the first one, the granddaddy and the biggest, baddest program that you can get into, it's going to be called a done for you. So you hear me use these words quite often. The first one is done for you. And you might be wondering, like, what exactly does this all mean, right? Well, here's how it goes. Typically, and almost 99.999% of the time, you're going to help with the setup. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have to get together your LLC documentation, potentially a DUNS number. You're going to have to give them information about your background as well as make the payment. And they're going to take all that, and they're more than likely going to create a website for you. And that's why I say it's only 99.99%. There's other instances where you have to come to them with a website that's ready to go and that you're going to use in the creation of this particular store, right? So you help with the setup. What does that mean? That means that they're going to get a store approved for you. However, it's conditional upon the fact that you provide all the necessary paperwork that they need in order to get the store approved. But they're going to take all that paperwork, they're going to submit it to Walmart, and they're going to attempt to get a store approved for you. Keep in mind, this process can take 4 to 12 weeks, so it does take a little bit of time. There are options with each of these services where you can get a fast start store. At least there's the one that with the service that I deal with. What that means is they'll go ahead and purchase for you a already created store that's been approved, that's ready to go, that's been sitting on a shelf. They'll sell you the LLC along with that store. You get all documentation transferred over to you as well as a fresh EIN. That they'll do for you for an additional fee, but that's the done for you fast start, which is costly. Getting that particular store can cost $10K alone. But you'll be started within 2 weeks. You'll be ready to go, already selling. And as we've seen in other videos, what does that equal to you in terms of how much extra money do you put in your pocket when you start right away? Well, it's going to be about $4,000 to $5,000 in your first month alone. If you're waiting 3 months on the sideline, that's $15,000 extra dollars. So already you've profited $5K from just going the fast start with that option. So if you do have the disposable income, it's definitely an option for you to consider. Now, they're going to handle all the orders, which means anytime you get an order, they take care of that. They make sure that they order the product for you on the other site. They're going to do all the customer service. So if there's ever any issues with the customer, they'll handle that. They also handle all returns, which I don't have here. So they do all of that. And they make sure your metrics stay in line so as to avoid your store from ever potentially getting suspended. And then they make sure entirely that the store runs smoothly. So you don't have to worry about anything. The only thing you got to worry about is initially the paperwork that you've got to set this place up with. And number 2, you've got to make sure that you pay your credit cards and that they have enough available credit for the store to be able to run smoothly. So those are the couple things that you need to consider with the done for you. Everything is done from you, A to Z. They handle everything other than the 2 things that I did mention. What does this cost? Well, it can cost starting at $25K all the way up to $40K. Now remember, This is all going to be dependent upon what split you select. So you're going to split your profits with the service provider. In some cases, it could be 60-40 them, 50-50 even, or 40-60 you. And it can also be a $10,000 fee for a fast start store. So it's going to vary from 25K to 40K. But again, it's all meant for you not to have to worry about anything, just to passively collect a paycheck from month to month. Now, you do have options. You can do standard drop shipping or two-step. At this point in time, the two-step is the only one that I recommend and the only one I can guarantee you're not going to get terminated on this particular type of store. It's all legit. So again, costs 25K to 40K. The next type is done with you. And with the done with you, this is a little different. This I don't really talk about too much, but I have started recently, and that's primarily because I'm also starting a done with you so you can see what the process is. And what this basically means is you do help with the setup like on the last one, but with the done with you, you've got to come to the table with the store. So either you can buy a store, which is available. Again, my email's below if you want to buy that quick store for $10,000. That's a possibility. Or maybe you already have a store. It's also important to consider if your store was a standard drop shipping store in the past, this could harm the store in the future. So you just have to be a little bit more cautious when you move forward with that. And or if your store's just been sitting around not doing anything, you could do a done with you. And the key difference with the done with you is the following. We put products on your store, meaning we handle all the sourcing, we handle all the selecting, and products are immediately just pushed over into your store. So you have products that are ready to go. So you don't have to worry about hiring a VA. You don't have to worry about sourcing these products yourself or guessing what products are going to work. You don't have to worry about profit margins or calculations. All this is done for you, and pretty much you'll get and receive orders based on profitable items that we put in your store. You are the one, though, that's going to handle all the orders, meaning you're going to have to process all the orders. You're going to handle all the customer service. You're also going to have to make sure that metrics stay in line, and you are ultimately the manager of the store who has to make sure that the store is running smoothly. So the key difference with the done with you versus the done for you is we put products in your store, or whoever you're hiring to do this will be putting the products in your store. And actually, I didn't erase this. They do the products in your store. That's it. Everything has to be done by you. And the cost for this can start anywhere starting at $6K. $6K is the base cost for us to provide products for you. And again, like I said, if you want to know what packages we have, email me below. All the way on up to $16K. And the reason that I put $16K is, again, let's say you don't have a store and you want to start right away. It's $10K for the store, about $6K for putting these products. Or you could use another service if you know of one that can get you the store for a lot cheaper. But the base price is going to be $6K for this type of service, which is the done with you, meaning you do it together. So a lot of times when you buy these products as well in your store, you also get email support when you come across certain situations where you need help with. If you are using a software like Ecom Circles, obviously I'm doing a bunch of videos on the software, and I would be more than happy to kind of create a video for you, or I'll point you in the direction of a video that explains any problems you might have with it. I've been able to come across multiple problems that we've been able to fix by me being able to talk with the creator of the software, which is an excellent piece of software. Now, the third and final Walmart store that you can have is the do-it-yourself. So this is for DIYers, people that prefer to do things themselves. What does it mean? It's pretty much self-explanatory. You as well have to help with the setup, but you pretty much have to do everything. You've got to get the store approved. You've got to get the products put in the store. You've got to handle all the orders as well as the customer service. You've got to make sure metrics stay in line, and you have to make sure the store runs smoothly. Nothing is done for you. You do everything yourself for yourself. I made a mistake in this bottom one. Yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to put in all the work on this particular type of store. So what is the cost for this, and why did I put these numbers? Well, first and foremost, the reason that I put 1K is that you could have costs like maybe you're going to get a VA to source for you. Maybe you don't want to have to do that. This could also be the cost of software to get started and to be able to run a few months up until you do see some profit or some money in your pocket. The reason I put the upper threshold here at 11K is simply because or with this particular thing, 11K is assuming that you've got to still put in that 1K to be able to handle day-to-day operational costs like software and VAs and things like that. And let's say you don't have a store and you want a fast start store. I put the 10K in there to actually account for that. So 1K to 11K is the cost of this. And ultimately, you want to think about what's right for you, weigh the pros and cons, and kind of consider, what do you want to do? If you want to do the DIY, you're clearly going to have a lot of work on your plate, particularly the part that you've got to get products put in the store for yourself. And you also have to handle the fulfillment, meaning if you're going to do a two-step store, you've got to intercept those packages, repackage them up, and send them off. So you've got to be able to have a residential address that can handle these packages coming into your house. And lastly, if you want to go into something like the done with you, then only thing you got to worry about is everything other than the products, which takes a lot of load off your plate, but you still have to handle the fulfillment on the done with you. And then finally, there's the granddaddy, the biggest, baddest package that's done for you, where you don't have to worry about anything other than the setup and making sure your credit cards are paid. So that's it for the different store options that you have available to you when you use Walmart. Now, keep in mind, my email is below if you do want to schedule a call and talk about which one's right for you, or to have me connect you with all these services and or servicers that I do use. So I'll see you guys in the next video.